Hello everyone, this is Trader Stewie with you again from the artoftrading.net. I want to do a quick video for you guys to explain a trade that we did this week here at the service, and I want to discuss exactly what we saw in the trade, to get us excited about a stock um, like this one. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing we saw in RE is first thing that caught my eyes is this daily chart. First of all, as you can see, the stock has been in a very solid uptrend for quite a few months now. This is this sector, the rare earth sector. It's a sector that's heavily shorted. A lot of people would like to bet against these plays. So when the shorts get caught in the short squeeze, you want to be thinking long. You don't want to be thinking short. You want to be able to capture the movement on the upside as people who are shorting this start to cover their positions. It's always fun to watch a short squeeze when it gets going. Um, so here we go. So basically, the first thing that caught my eyes in this chart is the solid uptrend here. Also, visually, the first thing that caught my eyes is I noticed quite a few triangles that are standing out for me here in this chart. So I see one here. See that? There's one triangle right here. There's another triangle right here. Okay, and I see a big one here. There's a huge triangle setting up right over here. So you can see how the stock loves to move in triangles. So now, obviously, this last triangle is the one that really caught my eyes. Is right here. So as you can see, guys, the stock loves to break out from triangles. And as you can see, historically, the triangle breakouts, they've been pretty successful. So every time the stock has managed to break from a good triangle, it's managed to run. So this one caught my eyes yesterday when it was around 1340, 1345, around that area. So, and then look at that, guys. Also, another thing that caught my eye is the volume. So you saw a pickup in volume here as the stock was breaking out of this triangle or trying to break out of this triangle. Volume picked up. So that told you that this is a stock that we need to pay attention to and see if maybe we can get a trade out of this one. So this is what it looked like on the daily chart, REE, and now let's zoom in and take a look at the intraday chart, and let's see exactly what we saw and how best to enter a position that looked good on the daily. What you do now is you zoom into the 5-minute or 10-minute chart, and you try to locate where resistance and support points are so you can pinpoint a good entry point. So here's what I saw at the time the stock caught my eyes on my scan. So this is what I saw right over here. Look at that. So the stock ran up in the morning. Look at that right here. This is February 2nd. Opened here at around 1275, and the stock kept running all the way to 1355 non-stop. Okay, look at that. Good volume on the upside. And look at that, guys. Started to pull back here. It hit resistance at 1355. If you take a look at if you take a look at on a, like a 60-minute chart, for example, you'll see that 1350, 1360 area, that was going to be a first area of resistance right there. So as you can see here, it pulled back slightly, touched the 20 period moving average, and then rallied back up again. So it hit that 1350 area again, and then pulled back again to that 1330 area again. So now what you have now is you have an area of resistance. You have 2 points here, and look at that, guys. It bounced back off that 1330 or the 20 period moving average. So you can see now you can start to draw a trend line connecting these lows, this low and this low, and now this high and this high. So now what you're seeing now is a triangle in the making. So this is what you can call the bull flag, whatever you want to call it. So as you can see here, now you have a clear resistance point, 1350, clear support line, 1330, and you can see how the stock now, and this is where the stock caught my attention. It was right around this area right over here, that 1345, 1350 area. So right when I saw that, and I saw it's holding the 20 period moving average, it held it again. So now I know that, and it tested it 3 times. So it tested 1350 once, 1350 twice, 1350 again. But look at that, guys. Volume remained very, very low. This is very, very normal in a consolidation pattern to see volume drop off like that. So that made me realize that, hey, the stock is setting itself up for a big, big move. And and I was betting that it was going to be up since the volume on the way up was huge. Volume on the way down, or the consolidation, was very low, which told me that the stock had more gas left in its tank. So I entered the trade here at 1350, and I shot off the alert to my subscribers. So you can see here, it looks, this is the email that my subscribers got: long re at 1350, stop at 1330, and this was going to be a swing trade. And you can see here, I quickly explained what I was seeing in the stock. I said the stock is starting to look like it's trying to put in a bottom here. The whole group has a similar bottoming falling wedge pattern on the daily charts, going long here for a swing trade with a tight 20-cent stop on it. So you can see, guys, so this was the entry right here, 1350. My stop loss was right under this consolidation area, 1330. So you can see, guys, you were risking literally 20 cents, to make, who knows what the stock was going to give you at that point. But the pattern was very bullish. So I was pretty optimistic about this trade. And I even called it out on Twitter right as the stock was breaking out. And you can see here the stock, as soon as it cleared that 1355, 1360 area, which didn't take very long at all. It took literally maybe like 5 or 10 minutes before the stock started to take off. Look at that, guys. The volume came back in hard. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. Even if you missed the entry at 1350, 1355, that's no big deal. Because look at that, guys. On the breakout, look at the volume. Once they cleared that 1360 area, volume came in, pouring in huge. And I mentioned on Twitter as well too. I mentioned several times that volume was pouring into this thing, and this thing was likely going to explode. So in the chat room, here's our chat room. Just a quick look of it. I also called out this trade in the chat room as well too, like I do every single trade. You can see here on the chat room, I said, and even on Twitter, I even said that for that 14 area, this is where you would see likely some resistance here. So if you bought the stock at 1350, 1360, you want to be taking some profits at 14. But at the same time, you don't want to sell the whole trade, because this stock was going higher. Like, as far as I was concerned, because usually a short squeeze, when you see a short squeeze stock like this one, or like many stocks that you saw that have a high short interest, anybody who's traded Taser, a few years back, or JDSU back in the late 90s, or any of these high momentum names, you know that a lot of people love to short them. And when they short them, and the volume starts to come in like this as the stock is breaking out, a lot of times these kind of stocks, they close at the very high tick of the day. They close on the highest point of the session. So on Twitter and in the chat room, I told people, please do not sell the stock, because this stock, it was likely going to close at the highest point on the very, very highest tick of the session. So literally, take a look, guys. So once the 14 area, you can see how it became resistance, because it failed here once, pulled back, failed here twice, and now what you have here is you have a bull flag. This I also mentioned on Twitter as well too. You can see here, you had a bull flag setting up right over here. Look at that beautiful bull flag between 14 and 1380. So if you wanted to, you can raise your stop loss to 1380. So if you would have bought it at 1350, now you have a bull flag pattern, because you have a low here, you have a high at 1314, a low at 1383. Here you have another high at 14, and you have another low here at around 1385. So now you have a very, very clear resistance and support line. So now you can raise your stop loss here. If you bought down here, you can raise it up to 1380, and hope that maybe 14 gets taken out. And look at that, guys. Lo and behold, 14 was taken out. And look at the volume that came in, guys, into the close. And I even mentioned on Twitter that the shorts had 18 minutes to cover their shorts. And they're going to do, and that we're likely going to see a huge amount of volume pour into the stock as the stock breaks out into the highs of the day. And look at that, guys. It closed at 1450, and the high day was 1450. Closed dead on the highest point of the day. When you see a stock that closes like this on this kind of volume, these are the kind of stocks that you want to take home as swing trades, or a overnight hold, because these kind of stocks, a lot of times what they do when they close on the highest ticker day like that, they usually see follow through the next day. Usually see like a gap up the next day. And we did see a small. Today is Thursday, so I'm making this video the day after, and Re did gap up a little bit. Maybe like 20 cents or so. We ended up selling the stock at 1450. So we got in at 1350 and then got out at 1450. So we made $1 on this trade. So we risked 20 cents to make $1. that's a 5 to 1 risk reward. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's the kind of trade these are the kind of trades that you want to be shooting for every time. You want to be betting $1, to potentially make $3 or $4 or $5 back. These are the kind of trades that I love to trade here. And hopefully this video kind of helps explain how to trade, a potential short squeeze candidate like this. All right, guys, best of luck.